So yeah, I think I'm really sorry. The previous meeting was disconnected due to some reasons. But what I was talking about here is the performance testing. So I was talking about the tools like performance testing tools like Gatling, Locust, and K6. And then slowly, we started to use tools like Jenkins. Like if you remember, most that was the only uh, tool, the CI/CD tool, which was like released long back. I mean, only after that we have got Azure DevOps or GitHub or Bitbucket. I mean, like tools are flooded, like in terms of development pipeline or deployment pipeline. Like they were like flooded into the market. But before that, I remember Jenkins was the one tool which was like dominating the market, and anything and everything has to be have to use Jenkins previously. So uh, but again, I would say performance testing started to slowly movement into the development pipeline, that is into the CI/CD, and slowly concepts of like shift left have come in, like where the performance testers were asked, like the performance testers were uh, allowed to get into the process of testing and the uh, the performance testing, and then developers and started to work closer together. Like it was a very big change, I will say, in terms of performance testing, and the complete demographic of performance testing have changed. Uh, and then talking about the modern day, like what is the current status of the performance testing? So when it comes to the current status, so now we all know most of our applications have been moved. We are in the kind of currently in a way of doing continuous testing where we run our code, like we run our test with every code update. Like if there is some release, yes, there's a performance testing that is happening, and it's not just at the end of the performance testing, but it is during the performance testing. Like for each and every single release, I will even make fun of my development team that, okay, so even for every single line of code, you people are making you people are running the pipeline, and it is triggering the test. Yes, and that's true. I mean, even though it's a joke, but still it's true, because that much level of performance testing and this the requirement for performance testing is needed at the moment. Like no matter what, it's a web application or mobile application, it can be hosted on on-prem, it can be hosted on cloud, it can be um, a mobile application. So no matter what, it is required. So you have to run your performance testing with each and every single code update, and we are no more the team who is required at the end, and we are the team who are the people who are like protecting the business, I will say, more than even the developers, in terms of bringing the best like the goodwill for the business. And now we are doing the cloud native test, which is running on cloud environments, just like the real app. So most of the time, like now, I mean, all the applications are hosted on cloud. So now we are talking about the DNS, we are talking about the firewall, we are talking about the express route. No matter what, like we talk about like the performance tests, as I will say, we are running on cloud. I mean, when I say we are running on the cloud, we are using like tools like the New Load Web, or the performance center, the load runner cloud. So any application that we run are like now in the cloud native. So we have that cloud platform for us to elevate our performance testing. I think even Blazemeter is doing it. So there are like lots of tools that have come in now to elevate the exposure of performance testing and automation. So I'll always support those people who talk about automation, because automation saves us a lot of time, and it actually helps us to concentrate on what is really required rather than wasting our time. I won't say wasting, but spending our time in doing the regular activities. So instead, what we do is we automate everything. So you don't need to sit behind a developer and wait for his yes. Now the code has been deployed. Now we can go ahead and test. No more scenario is there, right? And we all know that. So what happens now is anytime when the developer kicks in his code, anytime when he build his code and he pushes his code to the environments like dev, SIT, UAT, production, automatically there is a testing. The performance testing is happening. So now it has become the part and parcel of the build and release processes, and that's really really good because after some point of time, like the moment he pushed his code, after like 30 minutes or like 1 hour, everybody in the team, the stakeholders will get an email, uh, the juice of what has happened in terms of the testing, the performance testing. So that actually saves everyone a lot and lot of time, right? Uh, and in fact, nobody needs to wait for someone. Like for example, the performance testers do not need to wait for the developer or the stakeholders, the business analyst, or even the developer do not need to wait for the performance testing team to share the results. But instead, everything is automated. They get the results automatically to their email or to the Jira or to their chat. So that's how it's integrated. And now I will say our work has turned into a smarter way because we started to use a lot of smarter tools using AI to spot the slowdowns and even to predict issues. And now we are more collaborative. So the developers, the testers, the operations teams, everyone cares about the performance, and that's how the collaboration works in terms of performance testing. So now we have become more and more collaborative. We started to work more and more with the team, and that actually gains us a lot of information. So now we could really easily understand, and even we could translate those into the performance testing results, right? And now I will say we started to focus on the real users. When I say focusing on real users, we started to use tools like real user monitoring and the observability. Yes, app dynamics and dynatrace are some of the tools which I should not miss because they helps us to really understand in terms of the real user monitoring. This is not the case when it was like 10 years back. There was like uh, only you if you have knowledge on how to use perfmon, if you're using Windows or nmon, if you're using Linux, you'll be able to find the CPU and um, memory utilization. But after that, slowly, tools like App Dynamics or Dynatrace. So once they come into the market, it's not just only about the CPU and memory. You can correlate them. You can correlate the CPU and memory. You can find the memory leaks. You can find which function is taking a lot of time. So all these uh, it actually opened the doors, I will say. It actually opened the doors of the performance testing and the performance engineering. Like people started to learn more and more about the performance testing, the performance engineering. And now, if you want to say that you're a performance tester, you must know all these. Like previously, it was like when I was like in 2015 or like 2010. If you say that you know how to use load runner, then you are a full qualified performance tester. But now it is no more a case. You must know about performance testing. You must know at least 2 to 3 tools. You must know coding. You must know the basics of coding, I will say, and you must know at least 1 or 2 tools, the IAPM tools, and you must know how to um, really jump in and find what exactly is happening if there's an issue. It's not just you're going to run the test and you're going to give the results. It's no more like that. You have to um, you have to be part of the development team now. You have to tell them like what is going wrong and how to fix it. And it's not just about the code, I will say. It's also about the network. It's also about the infrastructure, the VM, again, I would say like the firewall, the load balancers, everything. You must be aware of all these like application gateways and everything, right? So now we are like part of both shift left and shift right. So we are where we are like testing early, and also we are watching the live system. So that is how the performance testing is today. So today, performance testing, it is no more a testing job because it's part of the software development or software application, I would say, because everyone has a role to play, from developers writing clean code to testers watching and testing how the application behaves in real life, right? So now let me take you through the current scenario. Like, okay, so far we have did the so far we talked about what is the current scenario, what was 10 years back, and what was the current scenario. And now we'll see how the performance testing is changing and what is being expected for you to be in like next 2 to 3 years, right? Because that's for every like 2 to 3 years. Yes, it's the demographic of performance testing is completely changing. New tools are coming in, old tools are being getting obsolete. Because I would say I can hardly see people who are using Silk Performer, because if some tools is not been useful to the performance testing world, it's no more being used, I will say. Because I remember people were using tools like Silk Performer, which is a little bit of a kind of a coding related tool, and there were no new plugins that has been added. So slowly it has started to go out of the performance testing world. But again, new tools have come in because they were utilizing the proper way of development. Like they were into cloud, and they were like very easy to scripting and more easy to execute it, and they were supporting more and more users. They were collaborating, they were easily integrated with the CI/CD tools, they were easily related, connected with the APM tools. So that level of um, support it gives to every other tool. So that's why it keeps on getting growing. And again, that is one main reason where we can see tools like LoadRunner or JMeter or NeoLoad are still in the market, because they they develops themselves by supporting all other tool as well. So yes, so in the past people tested the applications just only for the speed, and only at the end, I will say, just before the release. Yes, so all we tested is to just know what is the response time of the page, just that. Yeah, the response time of the page is like high, then it's a failure, it's a failure. But now performance, the response time is just one part of what we are doing as a performance testing. And I agree that I believe that you will agree with that, because it's not just only about the response times nowadays. I mean, like even in the last few days I was like posting videos on UI performance testing, the front end performance testing, the back end, even the function level. And we have to bother about the heap dump, the thread dump, and every single thing is like part and parcel of your performance testing. And now the testing, everyone, like those who are very well aware of what is happening in the performance testing, they want performance testing to happen early and also often. It's not just a once in a time activity. It's like for every single update, of code. So we also test app while they are running live with real users as well, right? So, and apps today run on cloud systems, and they use many small parts called microservices, and this makes testing more and more challenging, I will say, because we have to find ways to communicate them. Because people nowadays, they come to me and say, okay, now I have a different way of login, I have a Windows SSO login, I have a Okta login, and several other ways to connect it. Yes, it is happening, and that's the current now. And the future is going to be like more challenging, I will say. So people say, are we going to use more of AI tools in the future? I will say not in the future. It's already there. Now we have to talk about AI or artificial intelligence. Yes, so AI will help you to find the problem faster, and it can watch your app and it can say, hey, this page is slower than usual, or there is something happening wrong with this button or something like that. Yes, so it is happening. So it is actually, it's currently there. So I will say in the future, or like in next few months and few years, what the role of AI is, it will start to suggest us the fixes before even a developer or someone is trying to tell us. So it will tell us that this is the fix to reduce, or to fix the memory issue, or to fix the heap dump, or to fix the thread dump. Yes, that's the future of performance testing. And this means that the testers don't need to check everything by hand, but instead of doing the same test again and again, you can let the tools do that, and you can focus on making things better. And that's the role of AI and the other smart tools for you to know. Um, so how can we stay ready for the future? So now I said just now that the tool will be taking care of finding the suggestions or the fixes, and it tells that there's something wrong going, or something is not working perfect, or something is not working as expected. So how, as a performance tester, how we can be ready for the future? So the first thing I will always say is to try learn new testing tools, like K6 or Locust. They can be very easy to learn, and they are more of a future proof tool. And the second thing is, this is another point I always say, understand how the application are built today, how your apps is built today, because they often run in the cloud and it's not just on one computer. So just try to understand how the applications are built and get comfortable with the automation. So when I say get comfortable with automation, testing can be part of the code process now. Testing uh, more of a try to make more of an automation part rather than doing everything on your own. And I will say again this point here, learn a little bit of coding. It can be JavaScript or it can be even Python. So anything, but learn a little bit of coding. Start to understand. Don't say that I'm a performance tester, I don't want to do any coding, or I don't want to make my hands dirty. It's not just like that. You have a lot of AI tool support, so you can do your coding, but please start to learn a little bit, like how a loop works, how logics works, how the analytic. Just make sure that you're learning something. Uh, Keep something yourself up to date in terms of coding as well, and join more and more of online communities like LinkedIn groups, forums, even YouTube channels. Like even we, us in the Little Slow YouTube channel, like we were talking about more of these topics every now and then. We were talking about it. So just join the group, make some discussions, make some healthy discussions, and try to learn more. And make sure that you're always staying curious. That is asking, why is this slow instead of is this fast? So make sure that you're always curious in learning more and more things. If you do these things, you will stay very important and very useful to your team. And no matter how much things change, no matter what AI tools brings changes, if you keep on learning these, just stay with the team, just stay with the current flow. That's what I will always say. Just stay with the flow. No matter what, anything will always be there will be always a human responsible. So it's not just going to be like all the jobs will be obsolete. It's not like that. Um, and again, when it comes to performance testing, it's not just about finding the problems anymore. We are not just going to do a test and tell that, okay, this particular page's response time is high. It's not just about finding the problems, but our role, or the performance testing role, will change in a way that we're going to help the team build faster and smoother apps from the very beginning. It's not just at the end. We're going to help the team to build faster and more smooth applications. When I say smooth, yes, so very quick, fast response time applications. Yes. So you don't need to be an expert, I will say. You just need to be open to learning and ready to grow. That's the only thing I will say, because I know several people who are not an expert at one particular technology or at one particular tool. They were more easy, and they were like more like a kind of a clay, so they can get to mold themselves into any other tools. Like, because someone will say that I'm strong in Java, I don't want to learn any other thing. It's not just like that. I'm very strong in load runner, I don't want to learn anything. It's not just like that. You don't need to be an expert anymore. All you just need to be open to learning. So always be ready to learn new things and be ready to grow. And try one small thing every week, maybe something new, or you can even read a blog spot like that. And even you can write more blog spot on what you learn in your team, and how your team is moving towards the next level. Because as I told you, when I was like 10 years back, I could see people were started to doing some certifications, like the cloud certifications. So I was never aware of that at that particular point of time. I was not in a situation to even think outside the box. But after some point of time, I could see people were like moving jet fast, and I could understand that, okay, so there is something that's happening, and we should also move with the flow and understand what is happening. And that's how I just started to learn more and more. I started to write more and more and read more and more. So start doing it. Start making one small thing every week or every small day. Try to collaborate with a lot of people. Try to share your knowledge, because the more you share, the more you gain. And yeah, so with that, I come to the end of this video. I think I have shared what I have known so far. I think there are more other things to discuss in a similar manner, and I should really thank one of our member who has asked this question. Thank you so much for asking this question. And yeah, there are like I will say, like, I just scratched the surface, I will say, because there are like a lot of things to learn, a lot of things to share. So we are going to share more and more. We're going to see about this same topic in the upcoming weeks, and more training sessions are also planned in this month of August. So we will meet very soon and very often. Thank you so much for joining the live session, and thank you so much for watching this video in live. And yeah, we'll see meet very soon together. Thank you so much, and take care, and bye bye.
Thank you, Vasant.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vasant.
Thanks.
And if you can give me more examples on scripting part, like
Yeah,
growing.
we'll watch it next week. Yeah.